Visible just launched 5G home internet, and on paper, it looks like one of the cheapest internet options out there. This goes into a head-to-head battle with Mint Mobile's Minternet, which uses the T-Mobile network. And in this case, Visible Home Internet is actually cheaper than Mint Mobile's Minternet. But after digging into it, there are a few things that could make this a great deal or wind up being a big headache. So before you switch, I'm going to break down exactly how it works, the real pros and cons, and exactly who should just avoid it altogether. So here's the quick breakdown. Visible's 5G home internet runs on the Verizon wireless network, meaning you're not getting cable or fiber. This is fully wireless internet with access to Verizon's ultra wideband. You will get a home router, which connects to the Verizon wireless network, and that is what's going to power your internet. This is a true plug-and-play setup, but the details matter a lot here. And now, this is where a lot of people get confused. With something like Spectrum cable or fiber, you get what's called a direct internet connection, which is usually pretty stable. With Visible, your speeds and reliability depend on your location, how close you are to the cell phone tower, and network congestion. So your experience can be great, or it can be very inconsistent, depending on those factors. And this is exactly where most people either love it or they don't. So let's start with the good stuff, because there's definitely some really good positives here. And the first pro out there is the price. Currently, Visible is running an introduction offer of $49.99. That includes the internet gateway and your first 2 months of service. And then after that, it's going to cost you either $30 a month or $300 for the year. And if you go with the yearly, that's essentially a $5 a month savings. This $300 a year price point can be appealing to many people because you don't have to pay for internet for a full year. And as with always with Visible, taxes and fees are included in the service cost. This is honestly, without a doubt, one of the absolute cheapest home internet options out there for the Verizon wireless network. And that alone is going to grab a lot of attention. Pro number 2, no contracts and complete flexibility. You just plug it in and you're good to go. And the gateway is yours to keep, even if you were to cancel the service. And that right there also saves you the hassle of having to ship it back. Pro number 3, this is super simple to set up right out of the box. Unlike hardwired solutions, where you have to wait for a technician to show up, maybe drill some holes in the wall, with this, there's no need for any of that headache. My suggestion is when you get the units, go ahead and set it up on the highest floor in your home, next to a window, preferably facing the cell phone tower, if you know where that is. And then go ahead and perform some speed tests on your phone. And if needed, you can move the units to a better location where you get the best speeds. And for those of you who are in a really strong Verizon 5G area, especially the ultra wideband, these units can perform really good, especially if they're placed in the right area. When you combine that with a strong Verizon 5G ultra wideband area, honestly, this could perform quite well for you. Now, this is the part where you really need to pay attention to. If the Verizon signal isn't so strong in your area, you probably won't have a great experience. This is not a guaranteed performance service. We also have network congestion. During peak times, especially in the evenings and on the weekends, when a lot of people are home using bandwidth on the tower, speeds can slow down due to network congestion based on how many people are using the Verizon network. Think of it like a highway. More traffic, slower speeds. This is also not ideal for certain users, particularly for those who online game competitively, as they rely on ultra-low latency. If you're running a massive home office or server setup, if you're doing any of those, this makes this a not very reliable option for you. In those cases, I always recommend a hardwired internet connection, such as cable or fiber. if it's absolutely possible in your area. And this is where expectations must be realistic. For some people, yes, this absolutely can replace traditional home internet. But for others, especially power users, you can think of it more as a budget alternative rather than a full replacement. So here's actually who this is a perfect fit for. Light to moderate data users, video streaming, browsing, and casual use, if you're trying to save money, or even a backup internet option in case your current internet service provider goes down. And here's who probably should just skip this altogether. If you're an extremely heavy data user, if you're a competitive gamer who relies on ultra low latency internet, if you're a heavy work from home user and need absolute stability, if you're in a weak Verizon coverage area, because you're going to get much slower network speeds. When you combine that with network congestion, you're in for an even more of a headache. And for those of you who have weak Verizon coverage, but strong T-Mobile coverage in your area, then T-Mobile's Minternet could actually be a better option for you. Although the cost for Minternet is actually more expensive than Visible, but it can run you as low as $40 if you purchase 12 months upfront, which is $480 upfront payment. So overall, Visible 5G home internet is one of those services that looks absolutely amazing on paper. But your experience is going to come down to ultimately one thing: your location. If you're in a strong Verizon coverage area and you want to save money, this is actually a very solid option. But if you need consistent, high-speed internet all the time, I would just think twice about relying on this for your main internet connection. And right now, I'm going to be sharing some very specific and very helpful information as it pertains to the Visible 5G home internet service. So, the Visible 5G home gateway is not the same model as the Verizon branded units. It is the same hardware that is used for TracFone, Straight Talk, and Total Wireless home internet. If the gateway should happen to fail, it is covered by a 1-year limited warranty provided by the manufacturer and administered by Visible. This covers manufacturing defects in materials and workmanship for 1 year from the date of purchase. So if it stops working within the year, you'll get a free replacement. The availability for the service is address specific. Existing members must first run an eligibility check on your address where you intend to use the service. It does note, though, while a billing address can be different, the service address must pass the availability check. Now, regarding moving the device to a different location, the gateway is intended for use at the registered service address. While it may not stop working immediately if moved, the user will likely experience service issues. This is because our eligibility checks accounts for both network coverage and capacity in a specific area. And lastly, if a customer moves, the official process is to check availability at the new address, cancel the old service, and place a new order for the new location to ensure proper performance. And if you tried Visible 5G home internet, go ahead and drop your experience below. I'm curious to see how well it's working in your area for you. And if you're interested in learning more about yet another home internet option that is out there before you make the switch, guys, I do have a video right over there for you to check out. So I'll see you over there.